Welcome to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast, your podcast for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Sean Chavarella, Stephen Clary, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Spare Parts Racing. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And friends, this week we have quite a bit to talk about. We have the start of the F1 season at Melbourne. We have a very surprising win, I think, in Nascar. And we also have 12 hours of Sebring to talk about. So 3 good races over the weekend. We also have upcoming this weekend, Shanghai for F1, Homestead for NASCAR, and Thermal Club for IndyCar that we can talk about. So we have quite a bit to get through today. And I'll start off by saying, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Yes,
Good. Tired for a
fantastic.
Tuesday.
Okay, who else was out drinking last night for St. Patrick's Day? Just me? Steven's got the Guinness.
I drank in the comfort of my own home.
That's fair.
Yeah, didn't quite go out.
I see no one else is wearing the St. Patrick's Day green at all. Just me.
All right.
Just me with the green?
No, you
No.
can't go with that route. Just because it's green doesn't mean it's for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh no, it is St. Patrick's Day, and it's all aboard the Aston Martin hype train.
Oh, here we go.
Let's go! Anyway, before we get into that, I do want to actually start us off on, I think, the... Way to go, Taylor.
I'm sorry.
Start us off with the most, I would say, heartwarming story of the weekend, and that takes us to Las Vegas, where Josh Berry, I would kind of want to say out of nowhere,
Honestly, kind of out of nowhere.
but he gets his first win of the season. And his career at the same time, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
first one of his career.
Yeah.
Bigger point there. At
Just
35, right?
Oh, wow, really? I thought he was younger, but
He
Wow.
is an old rookie.
He's 34, Steven. Come on.
34, okay.
don't age him.
Exactly.
Gosh.
I'm extremely ageist.
Yeah, 34 years old in his 52nd race in NASCAR, gets his first career win.
Wow, good for him. Yeah, honestly, like I didn't expect that, like based on the way that the race, like how it was going. It's like he came out of nowhere, honestly. Like I was like, wait, who won this race? Interesting. So, good to see.
Yeah, it was good to see. It's good for the Wood brothers, you know. They always seem to find these little one-off races where it's like, where do they come from? And it was nice to kind of see the whole team out on the tri-oval after the race celebrating. Basically, it made you feel really good to watch that. I don't think anyone was upset seeing Josh Berry win the first race or win his first race.
Daniel Suarez bettors were upset. Those were the only people. I think even then, it's a mild upset.
And if you
Yeah.
took Daniel Suarez on a 1.5 mile oval, I mean, like, respect, but also like, okay,
Bold choice.
yeah. My money was on Larson, which, you know, historically has been a good pick, but
It
not this
would
week.
have, if the race had ended in stage 2, it would have been
Yeah.
a great pick.
100%. Honestly, I just blame Ryan Blaney. If he could just keep his car from not crashing, everything would have been a lot better.
Didn't his tires blow last week, and then this week he crashed out?
He's had some bad luck the last little while.
Yeah. Not a good start to his season.
No. But anyway, Josh Berry gets the win. Second was Suarez. Third, Ryan Preece. It's kind of surprising.
Not a podium I don't think anyone would have bet on at the beginning of the year.
Man, that trifactor would fucking go through the roof. Could you imagine?
Well, Barry
yeah.
alone was like 40-1 to win. So yeah.
That's nuts. And then William Byron fourth, and your final top 5 was Ross Chastain.
Interesting. What an interesting top 5. I mean, not so much for like Byron. He was kind of competing for the entire race, but Yeah. Very interesting podium.
It's also nice when a race doesn't end under
Caution?
overtime or caution.
Overtime.
And like you just feel like that it's such a deserved win for Josh Berry. There's no asterisks, well actually he was fourth and a caution came out, and then like he actually deserved this win.
Yeah.
For the amount of cautions in the race. Glad it didn't end.
For stage 3 too, because like it was slow to start, and like there was like 1 I think in stage 1, maybe like 2 in stage 2. Stage 3 came and it was just like they couldn't go 15 laps keep it clean.
No.
Until the end, but yeah. But yeah, it was a good victory for him. I do think when is it time to have the Ty Gibbs conversation?
It was last week, but we didn't have that conversation.
But it hasn't gotten better.
No, so maybe it's official. We can have this conversation that Ty Gibbs is in trouble.
Okay, comparing, I guess, our predictions at the start of the year, and we went over talking about a bunch of teams. I don't think a lot of us had Josh Berry as a guy that would win.
Nope.
I don't actually know if we even mentioned the Wood brothers. We kind of put them as a field filler role, I think, in our heads.
Yeah. Did we have an other category for teams for NASCAR? I feel like we did.
I feel like we kind of talked about some of the ones we like thought could have good performances. Spire was one we mentioned that, have been looking decent this year so far. They've had good pace at times. But then looking at Josh Berry, I'm like, okay, obviously he did not do well on the super or the pack style racing, I'll say, because I can't really call Atlanta super speedway, but a pack racing struggled in a road course. Okay, that's fine. Last week at Phoenix, 4th. This week, 1st. Okay, maybe there actually is something here we should pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're still early enough where you can't necessarily, especially when you start super speedway road course. Like, I'm not looking at anybody's season and saying, oh, it's like this is clearly they're underperforming. Like, you can have shit luck.
Yep.
And you can come out of it completely fine. Like Brad, again, I think we mentioned in the preview of before the season, Brad Keselowski he's in the same position as he was last year, and he turned out fine.
Yep.
Right. So you just have to get to a couple different tracks, but now I think we are slowly getting to this territory where we've had Phoenix, we've had now Las Vegas for a more conventional 1.5 mile intermediate track, where it's like, okay, if you don't start putting up some results now, that's when you need to start possibly worrying.
For Ty Gibbs, you're in top equipment.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You are on one of the best teams. And the only 2 full-time drivers who are currently better than you for this season are Cody Ware and Cole Custer. Sorry, not better than you. Worse than you. You're better than them. Everyone else in the series is better than you.
Mm.
And if those are the 2 guys, like, okay, no offense to Custer and Ware, but like again, not really in top equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Not really known to have any kind of top 10 potential. They're field fillers really for their teams. But then Ty Gibbs, really, you're down in 34th.
Yeah, and it's one thing because like the last 2 weeks. Well, last week for sure, definitely not his fault. He had a rotor blow up, and that seemed to be a Toyota issue considering it happened to him and Bubba Wallace.
Unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this week, slight issue with Carson. I think it was Carson Hocevar in the pits where he got spun around. But like he didn't have the top speed at all this day. He was not really a threat at any point to do anything within the top 15. So you can say, yeah, he kind of got screwed on that, but at the same time, was he going to do that much better? Probably not. Maybe if he gets lucky on the caution cycle. But yeah, he didn't really show a whole lot, and yeah, it is time to wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do kind of agree, though. It is still too early in the season. I've seen a lot of people dunk on Ty Gibbs, and we're kind of doing it too. But just to kind of go a little devil's advocate here, like we said, it's early in the season. You had 3 roulette races, basically, with pack racing and a road course. Your motor blows up last week. I'm sure, and then this week, I'm sure your confidence is still at an all-time low. One good week where he's up in like the top 10, and he's right back in this. Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to judge off 5 races. But 5 races is still like, what, 20% of your schedule? For like the regular season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, still a bit of a way to go, but yeah, you need to have some strong showing somewhere in here.
I think he will. I was still high on him to start the year. I'm not pulling that card yet. I'm still going to say Ty Gibbs will turn it around. I still think he'll win a race this year, to be honest. And we'll look back at this and be like, ha, remember we all shit on Ty Gibbs?
Yeah. Well, and outside of Christopher Bell winning 3 races, JGR as a team overall haven't looked overly strong. Danny Hamlin had a good Phoenix, but other than that, wasn't fantastic. Chase Briscoe has had a bit of a snake-bitten start to his year where he's been caught up in a couple accidents, so, not really underperforming, but definitely not getting the luck bouncing his way, and that's leading to bad results. And then Gibbs hasn't, put a good race together anywhere and has had
I think he's getting too
up.
much. He's getting too much shit compared to other guys. Like, he's taken flack for, I think, the whole team, but I would not put a whole bunch of it on Ty Gibbs.
Yeah. Give it 2 or 3 more weeks. We'll see. Because we got what's the schedule coming up? You got Homestead, you've got Martinsville, Darlington, Bristol, Talladega. You got a couple different tracks coming up where you can maybe put in a couple good results.
Yeah. I mean, it's still the beginning of the season, very much so.
He'll get 2 top 10s, guarantee it.
Yeah, and even though it doesn't seem like it sometimes, like there's a long way to go in the schedule. So, just because he hasn't had necessarily a hot start doesn't mean he won't have a good finish. We say it all the time. NASCAR is really about getting hot at the right time. So, who's to know? Who's to say?
Very fair. Very fair. And I guess moving on from NASCAR now, because I don't really think we have much else to add to this, do we?
No, but...
Go ahead.
Guys.
You're still watching?
I'm still watching. I'm taking my commitment seriously this year.
Honestly, good for you. I'm happy you're actually watching it. Like, you couldn't be fucked
for the podcast, guys.
You couldn't be fucked to get up at like 12 o'clock to watch the F1 race with us. But like, I'm glad you're watching NASCAR.
I watched it the next day. I had all intentions. I actually had the broadcast on, and then I fell asleep before it started.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Me and Steven stay up to 2, because we're those kind of troopers.
Well, you're true F1 fans.
Yes.
Good for you.
But we're not going to F1 yet. We are staying stateside, talking about Sebring, 12 hours.
Yes.
Interesting race.
It was an interesting race. How many hours did you see?
I think, what was it? I was on and off, kind of like tuning in, putting it down, tuning in. Because, out house hunting and shit, couldn't always watch it.
Yeah.
But
sometimes there are other things going on.
Was catching it pretty much where I could. Steven's updates on the Blue Sky account were really good at keep track of what was happening during our race. Thank you, Steven.
No problem.
But yeah, it was good. Like, I thought the upfront battle was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you could definitely have any of the teams really win it at different points. It was... I disagree. Acura, I don't think ever had a chance. But I think Porsche looked strong at points leading the race. I think Cadillac looked strong. I think BMW looked strong. Acura was always 2-3 at some point, but I never really thought of them like as a threat to win. Which is kind of funny.
That's fair. That's fair. I watched probably like 90% of the race because I was at Peters and was forced,
Nice,
which is
nice.
good. But it was an interesting race. I was mostly watching the GTD Pro class because Rexy, always. Let's hold some space for the braces because
That's hilarious.
it was so funny. I love their creativity. I really do.
Also, like, we're not going to talk about the AO Racing beef with some random fan with, like, the teeth liquor thing.
Oh, yeah. So
That was weird.
It was weird, the whole copyright thing. What I had a conversation with Peter about it, and he said, like, it's possible that the whole copyright thing could be because they have a deal with Hot Wheels. So they could have, like that could be where it stems from, because if it was just the race team, like, I could see it not really mattering. Like,
They're kind of
whatever.
fun. They have fun with it. Like, they don't seem to be corporate
Exactly.
douches.
Yeah. So who knows? But Hot Wheels is such a major, like, corporation or whoever they're owned by. Like, I'm sure that there's a lot of, like, random contract stuff, and it's probably part of it. So who knows? But it was still very, very odd, very weird.
Yeah. But yeah, they did win, and, you know, Rexy rocking the braces after having their teeth ruined at the Daytona was hilarious.
Got the teeth knocked out.
Yeah, basically.
So does he gets another gold tooth, right?
I guess so.
Yay!
How many gold teeth will Rexy have when he shows up to CTMP? Has a whole grill.
3.
Your hands.
He has a whole grill. That would be so funny, though.
Yeah. I want to highlight out of Sebring. Not that I'm wearing Aston Martin gear or anything but the Valkyrie actually.
Okay.
I think that is a major success for them.
Yes. And
They
also,
finished the
like,
race. They were only 2 laps off the pace,
yes.
but they finished.
They did. They finished. But the sound of it,
Oh,
it's fantastic. I wish the GTPs would come to CTMP.
they're too fast. We talked about this.
I know, but it's still a bummer.
It is.
It's still a bummer.
But yeah, I would say for the Aston Martin, the Valkyrie, for like its, I guess, second race, because I think it raced in, was it Qatar or Bahrain? One of the Middle Eastern WEC races. I don't remember which one. It had its first race there, but then this is their first one stateside for the 12-hour on probably the roughest track in the world.
Yeah, it's really rough.
And it survived 12 hours.
Yeah.
So that's
Apparently,
looking good.
Yeah, the bump in, like, the back, I can't remember what turn it is, but it's pretty brutal.
I will take your word. I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, I think
turn
that's...
14, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, good for the Valkyrie.
Yeah. I think they were doing a 24-hour test, like, the Sunday.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you gotta make sure it can last for Le Mans.
True.
You know, unlike a fucking certain car brand from Italy that can't seem to last any kind of endurance races. Lamborghini. I'm talking about Lamborghini.
I know.
Okay.
It's still very sad.
Hey, remember that time in the race, Taylor, that Grosjean was leading?
Yes, I do. Briefly.
And then he immediately balled it on the start?
Oh, that was bad.
That was so bad. That really just sums up.
Bad.
That just sums up Lamborghini. It's a rough one.
You know how you sum that up is the South Park meme when I think it's Kyle's going to invest money.
And it's gone.
Put this in the account and it's gone. We're gonna put Grosjean in the lead and he stalled it.
Yeah, it's done.
Terrible.
And he's 5th.
And I I would say I feel like
Yeah.
the other major controversy out of Sebring was the 10 car and its penalty.
Where it punted
which one was that again?
It punted
Just-
the 023 Ferrari, I think it was. I'm trying to
Oh,
think.
Yep.
okay.
Do you have the GIF up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it allegedly, based on the camera angles, punted the 023 Ferrari.
Okay.
Onboard show, it never touched it. IMSA didn't have that on board, and they penalized it based on the broadcast camera, and they were pissed because they're like, we didn't touch it, and they had to do a drive-through.
Oh my gosh, that's so frustrating.
Honestly, it pretty much ruined the
for the
race.
team. Yeah, like yeah. Oh,
And then was it Ricky Taylor that was going off in the interview the one time? I think it was Ricky Taylor that was basically like, it terrible penalty. Terrible
that's so
penalty.
frustrating.
So that was unfortunate for them. But yeah,
That'll kill your day.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty bad for the Ferrari to lose it like that into the wall to make it look like you got punted.
If that's the case, if you lose it so bad,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but oh well, maybe this will spark a change in how they review things.
Yeah, that's true.
We need different camera angles.
Yeah.
Or just have access to like the onboards. I feel like that's kind of basic.
Yeah.
Oh, and Faf is still cursed.
Yes.
Faf is still cursed. Did you guys see James Hinchcliffe's injury?
Oh, when he got a car dropped on his foot?
Yeah. Yeah. And then got back in the car.
That's the nuts part. I mean, like, to be fair, he's got shish kebabs and got back into a car too. So, like, I guess
True.
a little foot pinch is fine, but you know.
But like he didn't get shish kebabbed and then like in the car the same day or like in the car 30
the same
minutes
year.
later.
No, he
Same-
did not.
You only need one foot to drive. You're fine.
You could see how black and blue his toe was though. Like
he broke it for
there was a
sure.
shot. Oh yeah, like there was a shot of his foot and I was like, "Oh, that's broken. 100% that's broken." And at that point, I don't think they knew what happened. And then I think it was a little bit later on in the broadcast. They're like, "Oh, they just dropped the car on him."
That's embarrassing.
Which has happened before, apparently.
Yeah, because like you're doing the driver change, you might slide your foot underneath when it's up in the jacks, and then all of a sudden it comes down and ouch. Because like when you're coming out of the car as a driver, you're also strapping in the new driver.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So apparently that had happened before, and the guy like broke his foot, like his entire foot, and then immediately got into the car and started driving it, but like didn't tell
Oh my
anybody that he
God.
broke his foot.
that's insane.
So nobody knew, even though you could tell, but nobody knew, and he just got into the car and like, I can't remember who it was, but
Could you imagine the
I think it was
feeling
A.
of like
Felipe, but
the bone slipping in your foot as you're trying to accelerate?
No,
The snap, crackle, and pop as you're putting the foot to the
Yeah.
gas the first time.
Yeah,
Or if you're hitting the brake
I'm-
and all of a sudden everything's just liquid.
So
I'm
anyway.
hoping that like the
I'm hoping someone's
adrenaline's
eating.
flowing through and you don't feel it.
I really hope someone's eating while
Yeah.
like they're listening to this and they're just have to imagine that and just really gets ruined tomorrow.
But I mean, race drivers are insane. They're
Yes.
just insane. A different breed of human.
That is true. Anyway, on the best note possible, to end Sebring, mad respect for Hinch, and he continues to surprise us of fitting his massive balls into a race suit every weekend. So,
We love you, Hinch.
yes, we do. Moving on. F1, we can finally talk about.
Fun.
No, not rocking any red this weekend, Taylor, I see.
No, sorry, it's drowning in water.
Oh,
It must be. All I have to say to that is it must be the water.
that was
My
fucking
entire
gold.
seat. My entire seat is just filled with water. Oh, yeah, okay, it must be the water. I
Man,
loved his response of words of wisdom.
Yep. Must be
Okay.
It's so nice to see Ferrari's mechanics like mid-season form, or engineers mid-season form.
Hot take.
already.
There's nothing wrong with the mechanics did this race. Fucking Lewis and Charles were just dicks to him.
Yeah.
Like they're actually
Well, I mean,
like
I
he's
get
giving
it.
them information and they're like, shut up. Both of them.
I think,
Terrible.
well, I feel like I wonder how, like, the frequency, though, because, like, they only give us a snippet of what they're saying on the radio, but they don't necessarily show us, like, how often they're calling in, giving them information. Like, they're picking and choosing, right? So you just wonder, like, how often they're trying to give them information, and it's like, okay, just, like, leave me to drive. Because I could imagine that it'd be very distracting if it's, like, a running commentary of, like, things that are available to them.
Yeah, like if you're giving like gaps or lap time or stuff like that going on, or just trying to be like, hey, maybe push to pass button. That Lewis was like, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I know, like, I will do DRS when I have DRS available to me.
Like, let me
So
drive
anyway,
the car in these incredibly difficult conditions.
Yeah. Not their race.
No.
Press
Not their
K1.
Okay, to be fair though, we went into this weekend, and the joke was 5 rookies on Melbourne with rain. What could go wrong?
And how many of them finished?
2?
2 of the 5? Yeah. Rough. It was a rough race to be a rookie.
I mean, 1 of the 5 didn't even start the race.
Oh, I felt so bad for him.
I think everyone felt bad for Hadjar, and like,
Yeah.
like
No. There was one person that didn't. It was Helmut Marko.
And
Okay,
Helmut Marko
again.
Also in mid-season form.
We'll get to the Red Bull shenanigans in a second. The Hadjar thing,
Anyway.
though, and with Hamilton Sr. coming over and
Yeah.
basically just being like, I saw that he was upset and I wanted to help him. I thought that was fantastic. I think it was really good
Yep.
sportsmanship, and just like from a guy who's been around the sport for maybe close to 2 decades, you kind of understand what these young guys are going through, and you see it a lot.
Yeah, and I have seen that some people think that it's like it was a weird overreaction to things, but I think at the end of the day, even though he didn't necessarily start the race because it was the formation lap, like, I'm sure there's a lot going through your mind when it's your first F1 race. So I think he was just being incredibly human, and I feel really bad for him. And I'm sure he put a lot of pressure on himself, especially being in the Red Bull family. Like, it's a lot of pressure to be on that team. Like, whether it's the Racing Bulls or Red Bull proper, so much pressure that they put on you. So I would imagine he was quite overwhelmed, but it's so nice to see Anthony Hamilton like go over and comfort him, because I'm sure that he really needed that in that moment. So it was good to see.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there really isn't a whole lot to add there. Like, it's always nice to see someone help someone in need, right? Especially when your day probably goes from starting at the highest of highs, thinking, hey, I have my shot, to whoops. Now, on the bright side for Hadjar, Red Bull's driver program seems to be, I don't know, scraping the barrel, I would say. There's not a whole lot of talent immediately going to replace him. So I wouldn't be too worried about losing your seat anytime soon.
Say that now.
Should we talk about the other Red Bull DNF?
Yeah, we can talk about Red Bull as a whole, because like it really was like such a tale of all 4 drivers. Max Verstappen still looking like Max Verstappen, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the amount of pace that the McLaren had, like, not only in testing but throughout the race, right? Incredible that Max can get it under a second between himself and Lando. So I think Max is just able to extract everything he can out of that car. So, still incredible form, always. Good for Max. Had a good drive. So,
Yep, I think it's incredible to see him basically do that. And then on the other side of the garage, you had Lawson, who
Just did what Hadjar did, but later on in the race.
oh, you're kidding? He basically had a Perez weekend.
Yep.
he did. And you know what? The only thing that I could think about when I saw that was I feel so bad for Yuki. Because to not promote him and then, again, like, it's possibly Netflix's portrayal, but Lawson didn't necessarily do himself any favors by saying that it's incredibly frustrating to watch a driver do worse than what you could do in that car. And I'm like, really interesting. And
Ouch.
of course he was talking about Ricardo. Oh my gosh, words. Yeah. So it's when I saw that moment in Drive to Survive, I was like, oh, you're talking about like a guy who very successfully drove for Red Bull from like quite a few seasons. And then he maybe made some like not so good decisions. But like I feel it's kind of serves you right in a way. Like maybe it's a little bit harder than you think it is to drive that car.
Yeah, that's fair. And he definitely showed that he has struggles, especially compared to Max. But I think we all know that anyone who gets put into a seat against Max is fucked.
Yeah. And I actually saw a reel today about, and it was Albon talking about what the Red Bull is like. And he said, like, he compared it to when you turn the sensitivity up on your mouse. Like, if you're a gamer and it just, like, goes like this, that's the car that Max pushes for. He's like, I want it more sensitive. I want it more sensitive. And not every driver drives that way. Like, they don't like the feel of that. It's too jerky. But that's really the situation of the Red Bull. Like, they're constantly tailoring it to how just like the sensitivity level that Max wants, because he drives with that much precision, basically.
That's
so it's
crazy.
just interesting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're not gonna find. Well, I was gonna say you're not gonna
going.
find a second driver that's gonna want that unless you're finding like the Connor Zilic equivalent in the Formula ladder somewhere that is like a phenom coming up.
That's a very specific type of driver that you need to style with that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So. And I feel like it makes so much sense why so many of these drivers struggle so much, because like I don't know how much they're setting up the car, like the other car, for that style of driving, right? So it does explain why a lot of drivers struggle the first few races trying to get used to the feel of it. But I think Lawson just had an air of like, I don't know, some ego to him. So I hope he learns from this, like not being able to even make it out of Q1.
I mean, Q1 was interesting because you did have Behrman didn't make it. He had an issue.
Behrman binned it.
No, he had a gearbox issue because.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a gearbox issue. Kimi Antonelli didn't make it out.
No.
Right.
Hulkenberg, Lawson, Ocon, Behrman.
Hulkenberg didn't make it out of Q1. And he finished 7th? Holy shit. That's absurd.
But Bortoletto did, so good for him.
I guess. Still found a wall.
Yeah, I know.
I'm surprised that Hulkenberg was the thing you went to and not Antonelli getting to P5. Or no, he got promoted back to P4, right?
Yeah, he got P4.
Yeah.
Listen, Antonelli had a fantastic race, and I think he actually kind of proved the hype.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough. Good choice. Interesting. It's going to be an interesting, year if he can challenge that much. Let's see if he brings the fight to George. I want to see it.
Okay, here's a question. If you are in Monza later in the season, and it's Antonelli versus Leclerc or Hamilton for the win, who are the Italian fans going to be cheering for?
Ooh.
The Italian kid or
Oh,
the
it's
red
always
team?
going to be Ferrari.
It's
I
got to be
know,
Ferrari,
right?
but it's going to be Ferrari, but it's going to be very close.
Yeah.
I think people in their hearts would be happy for Antonelli, but they're just so diehard Ferrari
They are.
that
Just
like
remember, Ferrari's the religion. It's the second
It is.
most populated religion there.
Antonelli being, I think, a young Italian that coming to this season, we're kind of like, is he really all this hype? Fails in Q1. See, he's not that good. Race comes, oh. And we've seen in the past excellent drivers excel in these kind of conditions. Like Max Verstappen, I would say like Senna in the past was always a great, like whenever there's low grip, the best drivers find a way forward.
Yeah.
Well, Kimmy.
Yeah, so excited to see how the rest of the season goes for him.
Yeah.
If he challenges George, I'm going to laugh.
No, I agree with that completely. I don't think he'll challenge him, but I think they could definitely be fighting for podiums on good weekends. Like, I don't know who the third best team is now. Which, okay, first of all, we should mention Lando Norris won the race. I feel like we haven't even gotten to that point where Norris won. Should have been a McLaren 1-2.
But they both fucked it.
Yeah,
Was
they
it
both
what
went
lap
wide.
was
And,
it? Lap 44.
yeah. They run wide with the heavy downpour that was expected. It wasn't a surprise, but, you know, it came.
Yeah.
No.
And,
and
yeah, so...
Lando kept it on track. Piastri just sort of did the I'm spinning like a ballerina into
the effort Piastri made to get that car back on the track is
I know.
heroic.
Yeah.
It is. The fact that he was able to continue, good for him.
Continue. He didn't lose a lap.
Yeah.
I mean, he did. I think he got it back from the safety car.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. Didn't lose a lap in the grand scheme of the race. Was able to get back into the points and finish ninth. Like, that's heroic.
The thing that didn't get seen nearly as much this weekend was his pass through the turn 9-10 chicane on Hamilton.
Yeah.
That's a move.
On
I get
Hamilton.
the McLaren is and I get the McLaren is a fantastic car. But like in the wet, pulling off that, I know there's probably a lot of drivers that would have been like, okay, you already saved your 1 point. Let's walk out of here with the points, or let's take the DRS strip down towards turn 11, because turn 11 was a very popular passing zone this race. But like that was a move.
Yeah.
And in a season where every point might come down to who wins the drivers' championship, that could be a season-defining moment.
Yeah.
At the end of the year. Yes, it's a little ridiculous to say race 1, but at the same time, because here's the thing too, Piastri was able to take it to Norris until the rain came, and then he just got, I think, a little unlucky.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? Like, they both went off in the same spot, same sort of thing, and his car just did not snap back quite the same as Norris.
Yeah, Norris basically was able to get on the road faster, and Piastri carried more momentum off the track, which took him off into the grass.
Yeah.
So was unlucky. But, like, pace-wise, yeah, he was catching him. And then you had McLaren with their team orders being like, no, don't fight until we clear traffic. Yeah, that's it. Bloody cowards, honestly. Let them freaking fight. We're not here to watch your cars parade. We're here to watch a damn race.
Yep.
Yes. And the better driver should get it. So
Yes. Like, they're going to kill themselves this year on team orders. I guarantee it.
probably.
That's going to split that garage by June.
Yes.
Because
It's gonna the chaos is brewing.
you're going to have someone obey team orders one race and then someone disobey it one race. You know who it's going to be disobeying
You don't need
the
to
team
say.
orders.
You don't. Yeah, I was gonna say you don't need to say someone. We know who it'll be.
Yes, 100%.
We know
It's
who
going to
it's
be
gonna be.
Lando. He'll say,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Yes.
I'm going for it.
Yeah.
And it's just going to cause tension. That team's going to self-destruct.
And that's when Ferrari comes in.
I'm sorry. Where are Ferrari and the constructors right now? I'm sorry.
Behind the other Ferrari. Right there, they are behind Kick Sauber, right?
Oh, yes, they are.
Not even the top Ferrari.
Nico
team.
Hulkenberg is the top driver of a Ferrari-powered car.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was a bad race. It was only one bad race. So anyway, enough Ferrari talk. Williams.
Williams looks great. And I love
They
that
do.
Sainz was calling the strategy for Albon towards the end of the race, too.
Yes. And I
Yeah.
love that Vowles acknowledged that as well. So
But it's good. It's good team
They
building.
really-
Like it's just gonna
it is.
have them gel even more.
Hmm. And it's gonna at the end of the day too, I think it shows that they respect Carlos a lot. And that they're really glad to have him at the team. And honestly, they look pretty good. Their
Yes.
pace looks pretty good. So maybe, Sean, we're right.
That what they're
Where
gonna be
was-
the fifth best team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be the best of the rest of
Yeah.
outside the top four.
Yeah, that's
so
fair. I think they're really set up well, and that driver duo, I think they have a lot of respect for each other. I think they're working towards the same goal, which is building that team to be competitive, and it looks like they're doing it. I think a lot of people had them. I think best of the rest. We did. I think that's looking pretty accurate.
yeah, and honestly, I'm super excited for them. I really hope that by the end of the season, that comes true for them because I think that they deserve it after so much time, kind of struggling so much as a team and losing so much money and at some point not even being able to pay their drivers.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to see them kind of have a resurgence.
Yeah, agreed. But in terms of predictions that were terribly off, our last place team being Kick Sauber.
Oh
Whoops. Better than
When-
Ferrari, apparently.
Yep.
And
And
second
Ollie
last
Berman.
team, I was going to say second last team being Aston Martin.
Well, for you, don't drag
That's
us in
fair. That
this.
was
We
me.
did not
That was
say.
me. Listen,
Yeah.
I said in the last couple of years, Aston Martin was only good to start the season, and they tailed off.
Okay,
Well, they're off to a damn good start now. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stroll is off to a
Well,
good start.
Honestly, if I would have told you
Fucking-
that an Aston Martin is going to DNF and another was going to finish in sixth place on Sunday before this race, you would have said Stroll was the one to crash and Alonso finishes sixth.
Yeah, but
I actually would not
Alonso
have
just
said
making
that.
Alonso just making rookie mistakes as a rookie does, right? So
Oh.
Okay, this is what I would have said. I would have said Stroll is traditionally very good in the rain, so I think he would have a better chance, even though Alonso has been in it for literally 5 ever. I think
Yes.
Stroll would have had a better chance because he's just it's one of his strengths. So I was really happy to see Stroll get results.
Yeah. I loved his
Good for
post
him.
race. I don't know if you guys saw that when he was asked about
No.
the pit stop to basically jump him up into sixth.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't see it.
He's basically all the team. I did nothing to do it. Nah, they made the call. I just drove in. Could this guy not give a fuck about driving an F1? Oh, it's impressive,
He does
honestly.
not.
He does not. He's got to be a sports psychologist, wet dream, right? Just
Yeah.
how do you feel? Well, my dad owns the team. Do you want to be here? No comment.
yeah,
It's fine.
Uh,
I'm here.
yeah,
there's worse things I could be doing on a Sunday.
honestly. So yeah, And then you had Ferrari, who struggled. Alpine, I think we kind of expected a little more from them this week.
Yeah, Jack Doohan was the other rookie that had a bad race.
Yeah, he made it first corner.
Yeah, so
We made it through 4 corners.
Colapinto,
Okay, 4.
I'm
sorry.
sure. Colapinto was like, he's probably like, please don't damage my car any further.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But Doohan did look good in qualifying. Like, his pace wasn't terrible. He I think he got eliminated because he got screwed over with traffic in his lap. Like, it wasn't his, well, it wasn't his fault kind of, but like, it wasn't a lack of pace that really hindered him, it seemed. Obviously, tricky conditions, you get wrecked out. I'm sorry, so did Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso, who are veterans of F1. So
Yes.
this was a tough
True.
race. And arguably, Alonso
It
lost
was.
it in the best conditions of the race.
That's also true.
Yeah. The Alonso wreck was a little weird. Just, I don't know what it was. Just
I think it was
'cause-
also going through some of the gravel that was on the track.
Well, but that's
Possibly.
the thing. There was a couple instances where people went through that gravel and nothing happened. Like Piastri did it, nothing, and Alonso just unlucky, I guess. Like I'm watching his replay, and I did the onboard for both. He's like on the curb. Piastri got in the gravel, and I don't know, maybe the gravel being in the gravel saved him from a
Possibly,
slick
I
curb.
mean,
Yeah, maybe.
it could just be, like, you could be just like 1 centimeter on the wrong spot, and that's it. You lose control.
Yeah, the second you lose grip, it's gone.
Mhm.
And it could either be like a puddle accumulation there, or just like slippery paint. There's so many factors that
It's a
could
bad
just,
spot.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think I'm looking to. It looks like this might have been when they swapped onto slicks, so it might have just been the slick tire.
That true.
Oh no, never mind. This was before Alonso
Oh.
caused the
Oh.
the stop for everybody to switch over,
That's fair.
and it was close because I'm looking at the tires, but
And the Haas's. I think we expected better from them. I think
Behrman had a
they-
rough weekend.
He did.
Yeah,
But I think that's kind of like
a very rough weekend.
if this was his very first F1 weekend, I think there'd be a lot of like, are we sure about this guy?
Yeah.
But we've seen him in races last year. We know he has it. So be a little more patient with him. Like, for example, if it was Hadjar, or like if he had the weekend like if Lawson had Behrman's weekend, oh, he's done. He's fired out of the team on Monday.
Helmut Marko
But-
has taken him back at the garage and shot him.
Basically. So I think we gotta give Behrman a little bit of a pass.
really?
But like, it looks like Haas just did not have it figured out this weekend.
Well, what's funny when you say that is that they almost made the right call of staying on intermediates late in the race. Because
they
they
came back
originally
in.
put on intermediates, then
Yep.
they came back in, and once they saw everybody else swapping to slicks, but then like 2 laps later, everybody's like, "Fuck, I can't drive this," and Ferrari went one more. And I think there was 1 or 2 other cars that went one more lap, and they're like, "No, we can't do this." I really wish I could see what would have happened if Haas had stuck with those intermediate tires.
Honestly, yeah.
Like, yeah, it would have sucked for 2 laps. You would have lost a lot of pace, but then everybody else is coming back in.
Or some of them didn't.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that
So-
was
Where would they have ended up? I feel like at least 1 car is
the
scoring points.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. But yeah, because I remember that, seeing them out in intermediate still, and I was like, $1 bet to win. It paid out like $20,000, so I was like, this is totally a win-win.
Yeah.
Because like if you stayed out, like this is one of those moments where if you stay out in your intermediates and guys have to dive back into the pits and someone bins it, then all of a sudden you're leading the race. Like that, those are the strategy calls that could define a day for you.
Yep.
But no, they played it safe and just rode around the back.
Yep. I guess they should have had Weatherman Carlos Sainz on their team.
Clearly.
Oh well.
Yeah. But yeah, all in all, I think it was a good race and a pretty good start to the F1 season.
Yep.
Yep.
Worth staying up for.
Definitely. That was a really long Saturday, Sunday.
It was.
Qualifying,
It was so much
Sebring.
racing.
It's only gonna get longer.
Yay!
Don't forget what.
Oh,
So
yeah.
next two races are China, Japan.
So
Alright,
3
Japan being
a.m. and
early is
1
weird.
a.m.
Yes, let's
China
go.
being early is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so China this week off, and then Japan.
Okay, that's fine.
No way I'm staying up until 3 a.m. or waking up at 3 a.m. to watch that race. That will be a Sunday morning activity.
I found on Friday night, it was watch FP3, immediately go to sleep, wake up for qualifying. So I feel like doing something similar for waking up for the race is probably a good call. Just an idea.
Japan
just
isn't as bad. Japan isn't as bad this year. That at least starts at 1 o'clock
until it rains.
until it rains. Yeah.
Till it rains.
Then I go to sleep at fucking 4:30, and then they start the race at 4:35.
That was hilarious. I will never, ever let you live that down.
We'll never forget
I
that.
Never.
Never forget.
Nope.
You were so committed to that red flag.
Anyway, for this weekend, Shanghai, Thermal Club, and what was the NASCAR one?
Homestead.
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 Right. What does everyone have? What do you guys want to start with for predictions?
Well, I mean,
Did you have a thought?
I don't know. You started, so I was gonna pop.
Okay. I want to say Piastri comes back and gets a win to respond to Norris in China,
Ooh.
just to make things really interesting.
Okay.
That would be
Interesting. I think it's gonna be a Ferrari 1-2. Total redemption. Total redemption. I'm just trying to pick my order here. I'm going to go Hamilton Leclerc. Give Hamilton some confidence in the team that he just signed with. And then I'm going to say that Carlos Sainz gets a podium for Williams.
You're insane.
Well, yes. That's my job.
That is fair. Delulu. Extreme.
Delulu.
Okay, I'm going to go realistic and correct. And I'm going to say Max wins this weekend in China.
Oh, okay.
I think you're going to have Max. I think you're going to have Lando and Piastri as your top three.
Okay.
This is acceptable.
I mean, it's a safe answer, but also it's kind of bold to say Max wins.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
You didn't go bold enough.
Double Williams point scoring.
Oh,
Yeah.
Antonelli beats Russell.
there you go. Now we're cooking.
I love that.
That's a parlay.
There we go.
Yeah, but yeah, because like Max didn't really have a whole lot of pace. The reason he was so close is because like Lando can't pull away that far in the rain with only 7 green flag laps after a safety car.
Well,
So
I still think Max pulls out as much pace as he can.
And let's not forget, those straights are massive in China.
that is true.
True.
And if you can just stay within DRS, you can get pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So, or if you really want to get bold, Max and Lando come together. And then maybe you get a Ferrari double podium with Piastri winning. There, we can all be happy.
Perfect.
Thermal Club, IndyCar, finally back after it feels like a month, even though it's only been a couple weeks.
Yes. Even though it's an Indy 500 shirt, I am wearing an IndyCar shirt.
Look at you finally participating. Good job.
At
least like participating in
Thermal
like
Club.
other series, because you're usually only in your Ferrari shit.
I own tons of other racing things. I couldn't do the Ferrari. It's too disappointing. Anyway.
Yeah, I kind of wear my Tommy Miller shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I gotta rock that
There you
one.
go.
You can wear it at CTMP when GTD pros are there.
That'd be funny. I get him to sign that.
He'd probably love it.
Yeah.
Thermal Club. This is the one that they made a race, but it wasn't a race last year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Alex Pillow swept last year.
Ugh.
Pole position, fastest lap, most laps
but
led.
it was like sprint races, and there wasn't really.
But, yeah.
Well, like, there wasn't pit
Then-
stops.
okay.
And,
That's
like,
that's the caveat.
Okay, well, here's my bold prediction for Thermal.
if you say Marcus Ericsson, I swear to God.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Wow. I was actually gonna say that Pato will win, but Pillow DNFs.
Ooh.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say Ericsson. But I cheer for him in my heart, always.
That's valid.
I'll say McLaughlin pulls out a victory.
That's what I was going with too. I was thinking McLaughlin.
Good predictions.
I
like those.
to
I like
change-
those choices.
To change it up, just to make sure it's not the same driver. I am still feeling
Newgard.
Penske. No, actually, I was gonna go Power.
Power.
Will Power. I was gonna say, if it's not McLaughlin, it'll be
Interesting.
Power. I'm feeling Penske here. I just am.
Okay. Penske can get another win 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row.
Isn't it? Wait. Oh, no, sorry. Brain is having a...
No. Explain
A
your
moment.
thoughts. This is fantastic.
I was thinking of Porsche and then Penske, and they sound so similar in my brain.
You
In
know-
my one brain
You know the
cell currently
Porsche.
working.
The Porsche team is by Penske, right?
In IMSA?
Yes.
See? I wasn't crazy. Okay. See? That's what I was talking about. Were they the ones that won? I have no idea.
Not only did they win, they had a 1-2.
See? Okay, so what I said did make sense.
Well, you're
As
off
an
your
owner,
meds.
he could be happy.
That's fair. And final predictions for Homestead?
What is Homestead?
It's an oval.
Yep.
It's a,
Yes, I know it's an
mile and
oval.
mile and a half oval.
Okay, so we're talking
Yeah,
intermediate,
mile and a half.
right?
Yeah, mile and a, yeah, mile
It
and a
had
half
the
oval.
probably best finish of last year, if you remember.
It is usually a good
The one that
track
was like super
for
close.
racing.
No, the one that where was it Reddick? That passed two guys in the final lap to win?
Oh, okay, got you. I always choose Byron, so I'm not gonna go Byron. Maybe Bowman has a good race. He was actually doing pretty good.
Bowman only has one race not outside the top 10, which is hilarious, actually. He's been
I'm gonna go with Bowman.
The worst Hendrick driver has been Larson, which is funny.
Yeah, you know what? Bowman. He gets a win. Why not?
That was going to be my pick. Not because I think he'll do well. If you notice something about the winners this year, all of their last names start with B. Byron, Bell, Bell, Barry,
Ooh.
Bowman.
So you're taking Bowman too?
No, I'll take a different B name. I'll go Blaney.
Oh, Blaney has good luck.
The worst thing is, I'm taking a
Were
B
you gonna go
name
Bush?
too.
You
No,
gonna go Bush?
not Bush.
Who?
Busher.
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 Oh my god. If the
The
B
bees.
if the B trend continues, this would be hilarious.
Bees?
I'm just going to put $1 on every B name.
Honestly, do it. See what happens.
It's the bees.
Uh,
That would be so funny if another bee name won. Oh,
Now coming out to the track for the driver intro, Kyle Blarson.
Chase
Although-
Chase Belliot?
Chase Belliot.
Uh-huh.
That works.
okay.
We now have a new driver for 2311 who just goes by one name, Bubba.
Just Bubba.
Bubba Bawalis.
Reddick?
Nope, just Bubba.
Okay.
One
Braddock?
name, Bubba.
The Gibbs? Or would it just be Bibbs?
Jenny Bamlin.
Bamlin.
I'm
Just gonna change the last name.
Joey
to
Blagano.
Blagano.
Oh, he's unhinged.
Smiley Blagano.
Okay, so
Oh,
if bees are the key to winning in NASCAR, what would keys be winning in other series?
Too early.
No, I feel like for
Yes,
IndyCar you have to be Spanish.
Hmm.
You know, be a Spaniard. Everyone just starts
Okay.
changes their nationality to Spanish, or has to start speaking Spanish.
Fernando Alonso magically comes over.
Again.
Again, yes. Goes for the Indy 500 again.
F1.
Be a douche.
Sure.
They all kind of, well, not all of them are. Some of them are.
Oh, quick douche move to actually talk about to wrap this up, just to really bug Taylor too. Leclerc is such an asshole, in parentheses, to his teammates.
Oh?
He clipped Hamilton twice this race, passing him.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
I honestly did not notice. That's brutal.
Which, again, you can pull those moves
Why?
on your teammate, but you can't fucking do it to a Verstappen, a Norris, a Russell.
No.
Why? Leclerc is my favorite is my favorite driver going to become Hamilton this season? TBD.
Listen, there would be nothing more shocking than the absolute heel turn of Taylor from being a Hamilton hater, staunch Hamilton hater. We have clips, I'm pretty sure, going back of Hamilton,
Absolutely we do.
of Taylor hating on Hamilton, to now her becoming the biggest Hamilton fan in the world.
Yeah. Always and forever. Hamilton lover.
Okay, here for this. If Hamilton wins World Drivers' Championship this year, you have to get a Hamilton tattoo. 44 blessed.
All right.
Deal. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I will 100% be using this in the court of law if you try to back out.
I will say, did you not see my team name in the Formula One Fantasy League?
No, actually, how did everyone doing
No.
that? I didn't even check that. Did I even join the league?
My
not
mother
good.
is the bottom. My mother is just losing. I don't
Nice.
honestly know how bad I did, but my team name is the Bandwagoner, so we can all
that checks out.
see. At least I'm self-aware.
But it's like you're a bandwagoner, but also you like to suffer with like Ferrari, the Leafs, Chargers.
Hey. Okay. No bad Chargers talk here. Chef Ortiz is cooking, okay? Shh. We're going to win a Super Bowl next year.
Fucking Craig is winning by
God damn
a
it.
lot.
Yeah, Craig is
By
winning.
35. Oh, Sean, you did make it with Young and the Reckless. Good job.
Where am I?
I think you're second.
You're
I
second.
think you're
I can't. How do I see the league? God, I hate
You
You
this.
didn't pin it,
I
did you?
hate this stupid app. Anyway, I'll try to figure it out later.
It isn't it. Yeah, it's not great, but your second is basically the.
Wow, I had negative points across the board except for Lando, who I put 2 times points on. Okay, that makes sense. Go me.
I think my mother has negative points.
Oh.
My second highest driver in point scoring was Ollie Behrman.
Yeah, he was mine too. My top scorer was Nico Hulkenberg.
Oh my god, who did you have?
I had Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso. Minus 58 points.
Okay, well, my constructor
Uh.
is. I have McLaren as my constructor, so that did good things for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hamilton was my top scorer only because I put the 2 times points on him.
Nice.
Oh wait, no, I clicked the completely wrong team. I did have Alonso though. Fuck, that's bad.
Can I replace Haas for Sauber at this point?
Nope, too late.
Oof, this is bad.
I also correction. I also have Haas, which is not good.
Yeah, since we didn't go over our teams last week, I have Haas and Ferrari.
I have Haas and Aston Martin.
Ooh,
I have rough.
I spent
have
money on
McLaren
drivers.
and Alpine.
see,
McLaren and Alpine is fine.
I spent my money on Lando and Ferrari.
Yeah.
And then
That's fair.
I just budgeted. Oh, and I went Liam Lawson as my number 2 driver.
Ew.
He'll bounce back. He'll bounce back. It'll be fine.
I spent the money on Hamilton and Sainz, and then I took Alonso, Ocon, and Behrman.
See, Behrman seemed like a good choice at the time.
At the time. Ugh.
Yeah.
Cries.
Piastri, Alonso, Ocon, Hamilton, Russell, and then just completely sold out on the constructors.
Yeah, that's fair.
And now we pray.
We do pray. Anyway, on that fantastic note, I think we should wrap up. Thank you very much for listening to this week's episode. We'll be back next week to talk all things motorsports. Remember to give us a like, follow, all the good things. And yeah, thank you and goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Spare Parts Racing Podcast. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and follow the show on Twitter at Spare Parts Racing. That's Spare Parts RACIN, and on TikTok at Spare Parts Pod. Follow the hosts at Sean Chavarella, at Stephen Clary, and at Tay Moore.